We're all about turning a crappy situation into something positive.
$250,000 of credit card debt.
I still remember the day when no one turned up.
Throw it in the garbage and start from scratch.
I could give myself a chance, so I started something.
I mean, I think that counts as from poop to gold.
Our sponsor for this episode is our 14-day video script challenge.
Yes, we are sponsoring our own show.
Yes, we are. Welcome back, everyone, to From Poop to Gold. I'm Daniel Harmon, Chief Creative Officer at Harmon Brothers, and your host. My guests today are Bianca Kennedy, as well as Felix Kraus. Did I get that right? Okay, yes. Both from Germany.
Yes.
Here at the Sundance Film Festival, representing their company, and I'm just going to let you say it, so I don't. but if you can tell our audience what you're here for. Uh-huh.
Our piece is called ANIMALIA SUM, and it's a VR experience that you can watch in an Oculus Go headset. And it is a 360 video, 9 minutes long, with interactive scenes.
Yeah, about the future of human food consumption in form of insects. So it's like a dystopic or utopic vision, you decide. Yeah.
It's very cool. So has a lot to do, like you said, with the future of where proteins might be coming from, which there's a lot of hypothesis that will be, in insect form. Largely from what I know and from what I learned some years ago was it's a lot less water to grow that amount of protein as compared to livestock or cows or pigs or whatever it might be. And then also there's some questions around the intelligence of insects, or if they feel pain the same way. And what does your film get into? What all does it explore in those ways?
Yeah, exactly. This is the question. When we as humans say that a whale is more important than a bug because we have this feeling, but it's just a feeling. We don't know anything about the bug intelligence, and maybe you have just another set of feelings or emotions or that we don't have, so we can't grasp it, and we don't even have a name for it. So yeah, that's one question we ask in this piece.
Yeah, we assume that a whale has more intelligence than a bug because a whale behaves in more of a way that we relate to.
Yes,
right?
And we can scale it a little better.
Uh-huh.
And we don't know that much about insects because there's so many of it. They have a grand variety. So.
And we as humans tend to value a whale more because it's closer intelligence-wise to us humans, and because we are like up there.
And it's cute, in our opinion.
Yeah, whales can be cute.
Who are we to judge? So, yeah, and I mean, using virtual reality, it's really nice to put the audience in the head of the cricket, for example. When the piece begins, you are looking through the eyes of an insect being swallowed by a human being.
Oh, okay.
You have antennae attached to your head. You have bug jaws that are like pinching around. So you really feel this insect body extension. But then in the middle part it switches again and you become the human aggressor again. And then you are kind of conflicted because at the first you were rooting for the bugs, and then you have to milk them essentially for their protein, for their also antibiotic medicine stuff that they also produce. So yeah, it's kind of, it raises questions without judging.
Okay. So
we hope.
Yeah, it's more of an exploration of the questions around it than it is like we should be thinking this way or anything
totally.
like that. Okay.
There are no answers in this piece. Yeah, from the eyes of the bugs that are protesting and saying why wouldn't you eat whales? It's so 30 human beings could eat one whale and would live a whole life. So why not just kill it one day? It dies anyway.
Yeah, that's good questions there. So what was the inspiration behind this? Like where did this idea come from to approach this piece this way?
Yeah, we are both artists working separately, but when we joined forces, then it's all about the future of evolution. So we did 3 pieces about the intelligence of nature. Because, for example, tomato plants grow better if they hear classic music and not rock music. So these were things that really fascinated us.
Yeah, I've heard these studies.
Yeah, so we like reading studies when we are doing a new project. And
tomatoes like Beethoven more than Bon Jovi.
Yes.
Right?
They do.
Okay, makes sense to me.
I don't know
I can
if
relate.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bon Jovi is sad about this, but
That's right.
we'll never know.
Yeah.
So now bugs and where?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it kind of evolved. So, like our first projects, we were thinking about what might happen if evolution is not stopping, which it isn't because it's a process.
Right.
And like thinking about the future in a few thousand years, we propose that there might eventually develop some hybrid beings, half human, half plant, half animal, or third. And there we started to do a film about this weird ecological vision, and from there we kind of continue to create this, at first a trilogy, but now with the VR fourth installment it's like a cosmos dealing with those topics.
And the first virtual reality experience that we did together. Because if you want to raise empathy in a person, VR is just the best vehicle to do this. Because you can look through the eyes of the insect.
Empathy is always about looking through the eyes of the person or being in their shoes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good vehicle for that. It makes me wonder what other this basic concept of putting yourself, because a lot of what VR has been used for, I think, is
Porn.
Is more, well, yeah, there's that. But a lot of it has been used for like just thrill seeking of some kind, right? Of going and experiencing something that you wouldn't go and travel to and experience otherwise.
Yeah.
But this idea of using VR as a tool for experiencing the empathy of someone else, that's a pretty cool idea.
Yes.
You know, that's very neat.
I mean, to us it's like the first tool where you can really put, the world of dreams and everything that goes on in your head, and that's not in reality but rooted in your head. You can create a second world where you put your audience inside your head and inside your visions, and that wasn't possible before in that way. So to us artists especially, it's an amazing tool. Yeah.
This had to have been a challenging project. You said this was this your first VR project?
Separately, we did VR projects, but together
it's your first.
Which was a real challenge because working together and bringing those ideas we had together is always conflicting. We are also a couple, and so everything tends
and
to
working together in the same space.
tends to go around.
Everything kind of.
Every year, just insects.
This podcast is called From Poop to Gold, and so it's about finding those stories where you've gone from a really crappy, bad situation and turned it into something positive. And usually that happens with an artistic project of this kind,
always.
Right?
It always does.
Where you reach a point where in the book, and I always have to remind myself of this in the book, Steal Like an Artist.
Love that book. Love Austin Kleon.
They talk about the dark night of the soul, or this moment when things get really bad. And it's the same thing as any story in a film or something like that, right? When things get really bad before they get better.
1 hour, 5 minutes. It's always the point in a 90-minute long movie where everything goes.
That's right. 1 hour and 5 minutes. I've never timed it down to that, but now I know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very formulaic. What was that point in this? And just so I don't mispronounce it, Amelia Sum?
Animalia.
Animalia Sum?
Yeah.
Okay. What was that?
Well, I cried a few times because we challenged us quite a bit because we are only the two of us, and the project, if you see it, it's quite complex. It has a lot of techniques, artistic techniques and styles collaged into this VR piece.
Yeah.
We can elaborate on how we did it later on, but doing those things, and we haven't done them before, so we had to learn, and we had also this one big deadline for Barcelona exhibition, and so we knew we had to be finished by then and learn everything until then, and develop those tools and techniques, and there you realize yeah, that's the poop moment right there,
Yeah.
where you just think it's not possible to do
I
it.
think you had really many poop moments. For me, there were the one big moment.
You're the steady one.
Yeah, you have to balance it out.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't be both down because then nothing works.
Right,
Work doesn't mean that I'm
right.
never down. But for me, this moment was we began in October when we were traveling to Brazil, and I had on my to-do list that we will write the voiceover by a impersonator from David Attenborough.
Okay.
He narrates you through this piece.
Okay.
And we wanted to have this narration by October when we started, that we then can do all the graphics and all the miniatures. And we had it in end of March because it was so hard to decide for what we were going to. So this was like 3 months just talking about everything and nothing, and that was hard.
Kind of running in circles
Yes.
a little bit and not really making real
You're
progress
not really
with it.
deciding. It's a hard process
On
to
the
say,
creative vision
yes,
of what
so
you wanted
what
to
were
do.
we going to?
Yeah, because it was so new. I mean,
Yep.
before we started,
There's all sorts of ways you could go,
Yeah.
right?
I
Rather
mean-
than being like, this is it.
yeah,
Totally.
we started out having the vision of doing the first proper VR stop motion film, like complete stop motion, where you like take single pictures and rearrange it to like Tim Burton, for example, like this animation.
Yeah.
But turns out that's quite
Difficult.
difficult to do because the cameras are like 3D cameras are not
Yeah.
adapted for or fit for to scale models. Like you have to
Yeah.
usually when you do like a miniature and you want to get really close for the animation, you go really close and you
Yeah.
take a lens and put it there and you just go close. But with a 3D camera, you have like a stereoscopic distance, so they are like human eyes, and then they see like a human, and you can't like just scale something. And
Yeah. And the
that's really-
magic is totally destroyed. So
Yeah.
there's one stop motion scene still in it where we worked around that. It's a 180-degree set, which works better than a 360.
Okay.
But yeah, we had to lose this idea that it will be a stop motion piece. There's just, we did something else, which is great now, but at the moment you don't know what you will have in the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't end up with a full 360?
Yeah,
You did.
No,
You
no,
did.
we
Okay,
did.
We
sorry.
But,
collaged
But-
it together.
Yeah.
We had
Okay.
like this stop motion
Yeah.
in front of you, and like, yeah, the rest was like a watercolor painting.
Okay.
So you still got the whole atmosphere and the whole 360 sphere around you, but yeah, stitched together. So to
Gotcha.
say.
Gotcha. Yeah, it sounds like an extremely challenging project. So full disclosure, I have eaten bugs. I've tried I've tried crickets, and I've tried like grubs or something like that. And so I guess I'd say I'm open to this idea that proteins can come from insects. I know a lot of other countries already that isn't part of their regular
Totally.
everyday meal.
Yeah.
And if it's a way to have things be more sustainable and responsible, like, guess we just got to learn to cook better with bugs. But so I think it's really interesting the questions you guys are raising with this piece. But awesome. Well, for someone that is wanting to get into not just film but like VR, someone that wants to get into real virtual reality, what would you tell them? What do you wish you would have known like years ago that you know now?
I can start.
Yes, but I have to think about that one.
Well, to us, it was really interesting. Both of us, we don't really like fully computer-generated graphics. Like
Okay.
if everything is done solely on the computer, it's kind of alienating sometimes. If done right, okay, it's a different story. But if you don't know what you're doing, then it's too glossy, too clean, too whatever,
Yeah.
and like the human touch is missing.
Yeah,
and the
feels
chaos.
a little lifeless.
Yeah. So we really challenged ourselves to. We thought, how much can we do with our hands in our studio, where we are working on clay models, on watercolors, on acrylic paintings, and how can we bring those assets to a VR piece? And we learned that it's possible to do nearly like 80% of everything that you see in the final piece by hand. And only in the final steps you, it's a progress called photogrammetry. You take a lot of photos, just simple photos of one, like a sculpture, and the computer will calculate a 3D asset from those photos. And in the end, you have like your little figurine, your miniature in the computer, and then you can work with it to build the story and to have the animations that we also recorded ourselves with our body movements.
Yeah.
Just as a little side note, we had like a motion capture suit and played our bugs.
Yeah.
So danced around. And so to know that that's possible, that is maybe a good way to start, because some young artists who haven't done a lot of VR, they might think, I can't program, I can't do CGI, so I can't do VR. But if you can sculpt, if you can paint, there's a way to bring that into the 3D space as well. Yeah.
Wow, very cool. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to add?
If you do a stereoscopic movie, even if it's just a 16:9 frame, then usually you do it slower. So that's the reason many movies you watch in 3D with the glasses.
For our audience, stereoscopic means?
3D,
Okay,
but
okay.
not CGI.
Yeah, okay.
So in German it's the same. I don't know if it's
Okay.
in English.
No,
And
that's fine. I just wanted them to
Yeah.
know.
Stereo vision.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's the reason many movies you see in a cinema with 3D glasses don't work, because they were not really made for these glasses. Because if you really shoot one like Pina, for example, which is fantastic, you film this slower. You have another time frame, and I think for VR that's true too, because you have a 360-degree around you, and you go in there and you need to just see everything to get where you are. So you have to think slower when you do the piece.
And give
Gotcha.
the audience time to really-
absorb.
Yeah.
Yeah, to take it in.
Yeah.
Very good. Awesome. Well, it's been really nice to have you on. Congratulations on making it into Sundance.
Thank you,
It's
yeah.
awesome. It sounds like you've also, you said, been to Toronto, Barcelona. What were some of the other cities that you've been in?
And Germany mostly.
Germany, yep. It was Munich, is that where you said you were?
Yeah, Munich, Cologne, Berlin.
Oh, very cool. All
and
over Germany.
Leipzig in 2 months.
Oh, wow.
And a museum.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Always nice.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Where should our viewers go to find you online? Where should they look you up?
We do both have websites.
Yeah, well, in my case, it's www.swancollective.com. Swan like the animal, and collective.
Okay.
.com, and
It's just my name, biancakennedy.com.
Okay, very cool. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. Make sure to check out harmonbrothers.com if you want to see some of the campaigns that we do as well. And we'll see you on the next one.
We all kind of reach that point where we know we've created something awesome and we want to share it with the world, right? And it's that very next step that can oftentimes be really intimidating or really scary, or you just don't know where to go next, right? And the beautiful thing about this 14-day script challenge is you get your hand held from, okay, you have this cool product, now let's go research and find the exact way to present it and message it to the world in a way that resonates and gets people excited and they're ready to swipe their credit card and purchase. And in the 14-day script challenge, you get the opportunity to go through that step by step with our writers who have done it dozens and dozens of times.
You actually watch us go through each of the steps ourselves and create it with a real client, a real product, and it's a real campaign that's out there that's been very successful.
That's right. And the feedback that we've had on this thing has just been phenomenal. I mean, we get comment after comment and emails flowing in from people all over the world who have just raved about the impact that this has had on their business.
People tell us over and over again, it is just a huge value punch for the investment for this 14-day script challenge, and really gave them the tool set they needed to walk through it and make it happen.
And we've had dozens of students who have successfully taken the challenge, written their script, launched their ad campaigns, and driven success for their business. It's pretty amazing.
For more information, go to hbros.co/script. That's hbros.co/script.